Hello, Internet. Welcome to day 8 of 365. My name is Anne. I have mentioned this again, but I will always mention this. This is a public brain dump of my day. It is not really for anybody, so you could somehow, if you ended up here, you could scroll away. But if you want to stay put, you can listen to a girl going on a journey. Oh, I say girl. I'm an old woman now, aren't I? I'm ancient in internet years. But this is the story of my life in 2026. I hope I could do it every day, even on days like this, when I'm like, what do I talk about? Because here's the thing. There's a lot of stuff I can talk about, but we live in this internet age where it's a scary time, right? It's to a point where people might take, like, if anyone cared, like truly cared, and I know no one does, but if anyone truly cared and they talk, like, they could piece together stories of my life. Maybe this is what today is. This is a day in the life of a conspiracy theorist. Because obviously there's no conspiracy. No one cares enough about me except God, me, my family, my friends. Like, so if anyone stumbles upon this, no one's, 99% of the world is just gonna and go to the next thing to enjoy their doom scroll. But every once in a while, and why I hesitate, and it almost feels scripted, my choice of words about today, is because there's this fear of mine where if I don't want to talk too much specifics about my day, because then some weird part of me is like, maybe someone can figure out who I am. I mean, you really can figure out who I am. It's not that hard. There's a guy out there who can figure out where you are based off of one picture and give him 2 seconds. We are really smart, people. We are really smart. So I don't know what to talk about. And then I was like, what do I talk about? My day was ordinary. There was some successes, there was some losses. I just had ramyun for dinner. My tummy hurts. I really shouldn't be having ramyun for dinner because I have so many health issues. That's right, folks. I am comfortable saying I'm fat. Not in a derogatory way, but in a, holy shit, for the past 7 years, you've let mental issues and like defeats post-COVID, where you're like, you tried, but you haven't succeeded. And like 7 years of your life and the body cells that are now running your body are lazy, and they want instant, and that mentality of work, it seems so far away. And so I'm comfortable saying I'm fat, and I feel really fat, and I feel kind of gross, and I still am a werewolf. So I'm like, do I want to do this? I said I would do this, but I really have nothing to talk about. Having nothing to talk about that's big is still data. That's why I'm doing this. But I'm also like, data for whom? Data for me a year from now? Data for the AI monster that we've like allowed? Like, we're terrified about it, but we have allowed it. And like, yeah, that's how I feel today. That's where I am. And I think I'm constantly in this conspiracy theory mind, because it's sort of brought out in our society, right? Where we don't know what to trust anymore. The big news story: a woman was shot by an ICE agent. That's the headline. But like, even think about the English and how we phrase that. ICE agent defends himself against protesters is one version of the story. A woman shot by ICE protester, another version of the story. Who was this person? Like, oh my gosh, she was a mom. Well, you know what? People, we're all evil. We're all capable of doing crazy things. And if we're to believe the version of the story that, like, the ICE agent shot her because this woman was driving and essentially using her car. There is such a thing as vehicular malicious, like trying to hurt him or stand her point is bad. The other thing is, ICE agents, why were the ICE agents there? So I haven't looked too much into this news today, but why were the ICE agents there? So is it like, even though this guy was a good guy, trained to do what he did, defended himself, why were they there? Conspiracy theories abound. We do not know what to believe. There was at some point when news was just, this happened. It sucks, but this happened. But we don't have that anymore. And now I'm thinking, did we ever have that? I was looking at Korean American books to read because I think, I'm comfortable identifying myself like Korean American. And I quantify Korean American because my parents are Korean, and I've learned and assumed that culture within my bones, but I've also grown up here in different states of America, so Korean American applies to me. If you're second or third generation where your parents like have assimilated into Korea, so like if I had kids, no, they might still consider them Korean American, but like if my kids had kids, they might be like, I'm just American. Why do I need to quantify Korean? And I wouldn't blame them because they are. America is that soup. We're all together. All our cultures collide constantly. Okay. Tangent. But for me, I'm Korean American. So I was looking up Korean American books for kids because I'm like, as an aunt, like I want kids to know that, like my nephews and nieces to know this is part of our story. And yes, as much as it might get diluted over time, the fact of the matter is, this is part of the immigrant story. So I was looking at books, and then I saw one written by John Cho called Troublemaker, and it's about the race riots of the 90s. Now, again, I didn't live in America, and I don't know of it, but I don't know it because I didn't experience it, like other parts of history I've experienced, but I know of it. And it just got me thinking, man. News is never just news anymore. The conspiracy theorists, I think we're all a bit conspiracy theorists. We don't make news, but we make history. How do we make history? Well, history is storytellers. And when history belongs to the victors, it means which version of history is the one that we know. Well, today, 21st century in America, everyone has a voice. We can all tell stories. And this is the one I will tell to the people thousands of years from now. Guys, you have so much data to sift through, so many stories to sift through. And the thing is, one does not invalidate the other. All of our stories matter. All of our perspectives matter. The question is, how do our all individual perspectives matter in a cohesive narrative? As a Christian, I believe that they all matter under the umbrella of God the Creator, and there's a point to it. Like, these little, to the point where all our words seems like white noise. We might, in an effort to be humble, lessen ourselves, but we shouldn't. We should have our victory. We should have our noise. And even though my day, any wrap-up of my days will always be kind of coded, layered, semi-censored, because I don't want to go into details, because I fear the big bad AI boogeyman, or the weirdos who will take my image or whatever, do something, whatever. I have accepted that there is no such thing as full privacy. I have accepted that people are evil. I've accepted that people are gonna take this public secret confessional and gonna do things that I might not agree with, but I'm gonna pray that they don't. I'm gonna pray that God sees this and understands what I'm trying to go for, and that if anyone else feels that the way that I do, I'll be the first to say, you are not alone. I know I'm not alone in this. I know I'm probably not the first person to voice this or take this journey. But here we are. Okay. So you know what? let's scratch this. These are my conspiracy theories. I laid them out there. I'll continue to lay my conspiracy theories out there. So how do I want to talk about today? Or talk about my life? Well, this is still January. We're still in that it's the new year phase. Again, 8 days into the new year's. I've had successes. I've had failures. So what am I going to do better? What are still things I want to be able to do better at? One, I want to have a day where I talk about my workout. Like, workout. Where it's all sweat and like your body hurts and everything aches, but you're like, ooh, I did it. And the endorphins kick in. I think that'll be a fun day to look at in the future. What else I look forward to? The day I do that improv. I'll probably suck, but it'll be good because I did it. Do I actually go to the speed dating thing I'm thinking about going to? What happens? What do I wear? I own an impressive amount of hoodies because after decluttering, and I still have to declutter, I just can't let go of these hoodies. I don't know why. I'm a grown-ass woman and I like my hoodies. My mom hates that I like my hoodies. But I like hoodies. What other days? The day I really start officially hiking, because I do want to hike Kilimanjaro. That's a long-term goal. The day I take a crack at my bucket list and I go skydiving. Will that happen in 2026? Who knows? The day I truly confess everything, all the little secrets to the people in person that I need to confess to. Will I talk about it? Who knows? The day I write, the day I publish, the day I like practice a monologue and like get those acting bones in there. I think one of the reasons I've been so weird in the past few years is because I miss it. I miss theater. I miss being in that community of weirdos who get it, who see the world as I do. I think that's my conspiracy theory. We all need to find our personal group of weirdos. And when we don't, and when we try to do too much, that's when we become weirder in a negative context. Weirdos in a good context does exist. Being normal is overrated. And I think instead of saying that, we're all trying too hard. Yeah. We've been negative for so long. Me, been negative for so long. I also... Yeah. Did anything really fun happen today? Yes, a couple fun things. A couple of weird coincidences, which are just coincidence, but would make for a good story. I did internet today, in the sense that I doom scrolled, and I think it's made me even more paranoid. But yeah, today is a day in the life of a conspiracy theorist. Time check. Did I actually make the 10 minutes? Oh shoot. Yes, I did. Okay. Bye.